My name is Jeremy, and this is a bonus series of the Good Beer Matters podcast from the 2022 Craft Brewers Conference. Every year, the Brewers Association puts together the Craft Brewers Conference, or CBC, as a means for industry professionals to continue their education, network with peers, and improve quality and performance. I attended this year's CBC as a member of the media, and because there are plenty of beer pros that didn't make it, I want to share a few of the many exhibitors that I think you ought to know about. Some of these companies I'm already familiar with, and I personally know they're doing great things. But some I recently discovered and thought were cool enough to share with you. Either way, I hope you enjoy this highlight of CBC 2022. Oh, and by the way, I have not been compensated by any company to produce this series. I simply want to help good things get out into the world. Why? Because good beer matters, of course. Thank you for listening. Cheers. So, welcome to CBC.
Thank you.
Who are you guys and what do you do?
Well, you want to start with you, Chema? I have the mic. Yeah.
That's all right. Just stand close to each other.
Yeah.
Let's start over.
Well, I think that's a great intro. Like we have to, it's part of the blooper reel.
Yeah.
So, Chema, tell us about you and what you do.
Well, I'm an Advanced Cicerone, and I'm the business development manager for the Cicerone certification program. So I help customers connect with our products. I'll help them train their teams and get set up with the different certification levels. So happy to help anybody that is interested in getting certified.
Right on. And Neil, how about you?
I'm Neil Whitty. I'm the Associate Director of Exams. I'm a Master Cicerone.
I like how he just casually throws it. I'm a Master Cicerone, and yeah. In other words, I thought I knew way too much about beer. You know way more than too much about beer.
Yeah, I am certainly obsessive about beer knowledge.
Absolutely.
I do all of our private training. I help with content. I do all kinds of different stuff for
awesome.
Cicerone. Yeah.
And for the people that are just entering the beer industry or entering the service industry, I mean, there's always not a backlog, but new people coming into this all the time, and there's always going to be a first time that someone hears about Cicerone.
Yeah.
And so what exactly is Cicerone?
So Cicerone is basically a program for certifying beer knowledge for people who sell beer or work with beer.
Okay.
Initially it was begun by Ray Daniels as an attempt to improve the quality of beer at retail. He was sick of being served bad pints by servers who didn't know the first thing about beer. And so, ostensibly this is for people who serve beer, but really it's for anybody who wants to learn more about beer. It's a series of examinations that's great goal setting for anybody who wants to learn more about beer.
And so anyone who, you mentioned anyone who works with beer, so I'm thinking bartenders, I'm thinking servers, I'm thinking brewers, I'm thinking people in bottle shops and grocery stores.
Yeah, and distributor sales teams. Brewery sales teams, brewery owners, anybody in the beer business who wants to learn a little bit more.
Because the more you know, the better it can get, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Right? So I think a big question I have for you guys is, and this is a little philosophical, but what is the value of higher beer education out in the industry?
Well, the value of higher beer education is that you have an increasing level of goal setting for people who want to demonstrate that they know more about it, right? So if you are looking for a sales team member as a distributor owner, or if you're running a beer shop and you want to find somebody to run your beer program, having this certification on your resume can be the difference between getting a job or not getting a job.
Okay. So, and that's a very like job or personal focus. But like Chema, I mean, what is the value of having the certification, having this knowledge, in creating a customer experience?
Definitely. I think we work a lot with vocabulary. So it's great to have all your team increasingly knowing better vocabulary to describe beer. And not everybody needs to go all the way up to Master Cicerone. That's why there's different levels. So you might want to have like the...
That's why there's only 20, because you don't have to become a Master Cicerone.
So your sales team, they might stay at the certified beer server level, and that will give them the basic vocabulary to have efficient conversations and to represent your beer properly. But then like there's someone that it's like writing the labels and maybe writing about the beer and doing posts either in social media or in print, and you want that person to be like more qualified to describe the beer correctly, because it's going to be a more permanent post, right?
Yeah.
So I think like describing beer goes a long way into creating great relationships between the customers and your beer. If you have a bad description, maybe I like that beer and I cannot find it because the description is bad, or maybe I thought I would like your beer from your description, and then when I taste it, it's just not a match, and then I won't buy it again, and I might write a bad review.
Sure.
So it's a thing about like there's a beer for everyone. And what we're trying to do is to make sure that communication exists so each customer finds the right beer.
Well, and I like to think of it that if the average customer knows more about beer than I do, then I'm essentially an order taker. But if I know more about beer than the average customer, then I become the table guide or the dining consultant. And then therefore, hopefully I can create a better experience and I can guide my guests through a better dining experience. Is that a fair summation of like what Cicerone can do? I mean, because that's what I got out of it.
Absolutely, yeah. And I worked for a long time with distributors and retailers from the brewery side, and I would always tell the brewery reps I worked with that you need to know more about our beer than the distributor reps do, and I would tell distributor reps that they need to know more about their beer than the retailers they're selling to. And that's how, this is one of the ways that you can do that, is by having that certification, learning what you need to get to a certain level, and have the ability to discuss those beers in a knowledgeable way, and show that you demonstrate that knowledge for the people who are going to be your customers.
Yeah, and I think another nice little thing too is when you have these fancy little pins, or even like a fancier little pin, then when people who know what Cicerone is, they recognize that you've already been pre-vetted. We don't have to have a long conversation about what you know about beer, what you don't know about beer. We could just get right to something that actually matters.
Yep, it's an automatic credential.
It's
an
automatic
got Advanced
credential.
Cicerone, people see that pin and they're like, this is a guy who knows what he's talking about.
Absolutely. Guy or gal.
Yep.
Yeah, or gal.
Yep, exactly.
But so who should go out and become Cicerones of whatever level?
So I think that, first of all, we're focused on industry, and it's an industry certification, so anybody that works in the beer industry should at least be a certified beer server. But once again, like, we're open to home brewers and other people that are interested in the program.
Yeah.
Now, each role, as I mentioned, like certified beer server is very popular with like entire sales teams or just your front of house staff. And then we have like certified Cicerone, that it's great to have like someone with the knowledge. Another pillar of our education is craft equipment and how it works. So it's great to have, like, if you're running a brew pub, to have someone that actually knows like exactly how craft equipment works, how to set it up.
You can't just call
and
Neil.
troubleshoot.
Hey Neil, I've got a problem.
You can call Neil too.
You can do that too.
And then what is it? Advanced? What kind of person should go after advanced?
So, go ahead.
Well, I consider like advanced and master to be a little bit more kind of vision quest kind of pursuits, right? The advanced Cicerone, there's probably a number of jobs out there where like advanced Cicerone would be
Absolutely.
like something that would be the difference maker in you getting that position or not. but at the same time, it's you start getting into kind of the personal pursuit area, where like especially Master Cicerone, where nobody's going to have a job listing that says must be Master Cicerone.
Yeah.
But that said, it's opened plenty of doors for me, right? And so
sure.
I think Advanced Cicerone in a lot of ways is very similar. You have to go long and deep into knowledge, into beer knowledge, to be able to pass that exam, and it's going to open a lot of doors for you. But there's not necessarily like somebody who's got a job listing out there that says must be Advanced Cicerone to get this job.
But it definitely helps. That I found it helps when you're trying to be an educator or some leader, or in my case, trying to do my own thing and try and kind of put out beer education and all that sort of stuff. I found that to be a difference maker.
Yeah.
And I think that if you take a look at our syllabus, and if you take a look at what's evaluated on each level, it makes sense to understand a little bit better what those levels are.
Yeah.
And for instance, for Certified Cicerone, you might read How to Brew by John Palmer to get an idea of the brewing process. But then for Advanced Cicerone, you're looking at books like Celery, you're looking at the MBAA books on brew house operations. So it's as you strive to get more and more knowledge, our program gives you like a very ordered way to acquire that knowledge, so you're acquiring the knowledge the right way. If you buy a very advanced book or a very easy book at the wrong moment, it won't be the best use of our time.
Yes, you don't need that in the weeds knowledge when you're trying to get your CBS.
Absolutely.
That's a little. It's kind of one of those say what moments. Right? Anyway, thank you guys for being here at the Craft Brewers Conference again. Thank you for Cicerone, and hopefully we can get some more people to sign up for the Cicerone program.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.